Yes, we are live, and I want to say welcome everyone to the show tonight or today. Um, it was Dwight D. Eisenhower who said that there is no such thing as human superiority. Sir Walter Scott said, teach self denial and make its practice pleasure, and you can create for the world a destiny more sublime that ever issued from the brain of the wildest dreamer. Welcome to Motivational Live Show. And today it's amazing because we are shooting from Federal College of Forestry at Jericho. Show tonight. And then we have our guest already, Castillo, all the way from the United States of America. Please let's make welcome my dear friend, Kelvin. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Very honored to be on here.
Okay. So, can you kindly give us a little introduction about yourself so that my audience can get to know you better?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Can you hear me? Does it sound okay?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Kevin Castillo. I'm out of Dallas, Texas, here in the United States, obviously. And yeah, I got quite a story. I was basically born in Dallas, Texas, and I had a lot going for me, as a baby growing up and everything. And I was hit with a very catastrophic event. I was in a severe car accident where I didn't know if I was going to live or not. The chances I was going to live was very slim. And if I was going to be able to live and beat the odds, I may not be able to walk, talk, or eat again. So I was able and I was blessed by the grace of God to be where I'm at today, because if it wasn't for everything that's been going on in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so I went through school and everything, and I was a DNF student. I thought that there was something wrong with me, and I got out of high school, and I didn't really know where I was going in life. I basically chased the money, and the thing is we all need money, right? But the thing is that having all the money, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy. The biggest things that I really chase after, and what I really admire is time and time freedom. Once time is gone, it's gone. So going out of high school, I didn't actually go to college. I actually went for like a half semester, and I failed miserably. And I thought that I was a failure because I wasn't able to make it. And I want to congratulate all of y'all, for where you're at in life. Keep going, keep pushing, because you were able to do something that I was not. And I got out and I chased the money. I knew what it was like to have all the money. And the biggest thing was it didn't actually make me happy. It didn't fulfill me. It didn't get me where I wanted in life. And the biggest thing is like I love sharing my story because I want to impact others. Because if you failed in life, just know that being a failure doesn't mean it's not a bad thing. You don't actually fail until you actually quit. The greatest people out there, you look at Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, all these great celebrities, sports people, they didn't get where they were just overnight. They didn't come into this world, shooting basketballs and, making the 3-point slam dunks and all that. Same thing with football players, baseball players and all that. They didn't become great overnight. They actually failed. And things is like, if you're not willing to fail, you're never going to learn anything new. And I actually heard Eric Thomas today when I was out on my walk. He said, you are where you're at because of what you know. And I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful. I am where I am because of what I know. And I was like, that's genius. That's great, because I wanted to say that here. You are where you at because of what you know. And you're only going to get as far as what you know. And the biggest thing is that I had to learn was that if I was going to grow, I had to get uncomfortable. It's just like a diamond. We all love diamonds. Who doesn't like diamonds, right? And the thing is that a diamond isn't created just out of the air. It's created under extreme heat and extreme pressure. And that's what I encourage everybody to do, is that if you want to be that diamond in your life, you gotta get out there and you have to get uncomfortable, and you got to start getting around the people that are going to force you to be uncomfortable, because otherwise you're never going to grow. I'm sure you've heard the saying, your dreams go to die in the comfort zone, or something like that, or dreams go to die in the comfort zone, so you got to stay out of that comfort zone. And so I was willing to get uncomfortable. I was, willing to get around the people that had what I wanted. And that's where I'm at today, because of the power of community, the power of connection, and just getting through all those failures. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm ready to answer any questions you're wanting to ask, and I hope that I can be an inspiration. And if I can just at least touch that one person, I'm perfectly happy, because when you try to reach everybody, you end up reaching nobody. But I just want to reach that one person. So I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. That was truly inspiring, and we really appreciate hearing that from you. Now, the theme of the show today is superiority. Okay, that's superior. That's what the show is all about. Now, I want to ask you something, Kelvin. There are some people that feel that they are superior than others in this world. Now, I want you to tell us, because there are students watching you right now, okay? So I want you to tell us, is it really true that some people are superior than others in this world?
Oh, you're asking, is there people that are more superior than us? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Well, it just kind of depends on, how you define superior and everything. I think that a lot of people are, I don't necessarily think that there's people that are more superior than others. I just think that there's other people that have a lot more education, a lot of experience that has gotten them where they are. We just might be a little bit behind, and we might just need to, kind of try to figure things out to get to that level. And that's the beauty of where we're at in this world. Like when I was in school in the 90s, this internet thing didn't exist. We didn't have social media. Like, it's insane and incredible, and such a blessing that you're in Nigeria, I'm in the United States, and we're talking. This stuff didn't exist, right? So we are living in a time right now where we are so full of opportunities, and so many people aren't taking advantage of it. And I'm here to tell you that if you take advantage of the internet, the social media, you're going to connect with the right people, because that's what I started doing. I just started connecting with people all around the world. I just had a Zoom call with my mastermind last night, and I had people from all over the United States. And I had one person that wasn't able to make it. He was in Australia. So yeah, I think that I don't think there's one person that's superior over another. I just think that they've experienced more things. They've gotten a lot further just because they've experienced more failures. They kind of knew what they wanted, and maybe we want to be where they are, but we're just not there yet. And that's the thing is that you can't become an overnight success. You got to start at the bottom of the mountain to get to the top. These people may be at the top of the mountain, but they started at the bottom. And guess what? We had to start at the bottom too. However, we can get there a lot faster as long as we're willing to connect with the people that are already at the top and figure out how they got there, and surround yourself with the right people to get you going, because we can't go at everything alone. You can only do so much alone.
Wow, thank you so much. I would say that's really powerful. And from what you have said, it is clear that no one is more superior than any other person. And just like, I thank God, because this is very wonderful, because you just gave us a very interesting story. You told us that you couldn't even complete your education. Okay, but today you are a speaker. You are somebody that is inspiring lives all over the world. You are making impact. You are changing lives. So anyone can become superior. Anyone can become better. Anyone can get to the highest level if they do the things that they are supposed to do. So there is nothing like saying that any person is superior than others. I really appreciate those words from you. Now I want to ask you one thing that I have observed as I travel, because I've been to 13 countries, okay? And as I traveled around the world and I interact with people, I noticed that there is one thing that it's a problem. and it's the limiting beliefs that people have, concerning themselves. So I want you to tell us about some of the limiting beliefs that people have and how we can overcome them. And remember, a lot of youths are watching you right now and listening to you right now. So go ahead and tell us, Kelvin.
Yeah, definitely. I love to speak on limiting beliefs. It's one of those things where I think that everybody has some sort of limiting belief when they're growing up as a kid, even as adults, even all the way up into their 80s, they have some sort of limiting belief. And, like I was saying, I was a failure in school. I was a DNF student. I had to have a special tutor to help me get that 2.0 GPA, which was the requirement here in Texas to graduate, which I was able to barely graduate. But if it wasn't for that help of that person to help me, I would have never graduated. And the thing is like, when I was making D's and F's, I was told by students, teachers, family, my own family said that if I don't get my grades up, I'm going to become a failure. I'm not going to succeed in this world. And I took that to the heart, and I was real sad because I was like, I need to get my grades up. I need to get my grades up, but I could never get them up. And the thing that I realized is that, I know that how far I go is 100% on me and nobody else. Nobody can tell me that I'm a failure because like I said, again, like if we were in the 90s, 1990s, I will agree. You needed a college education to become a successful person. I 100% agree. And even today, depending on what your field is and everything, if it requires you to go to college and you're going to college because you want to better yourself, yes, you are setting yourself up for failure. But the thing is like, I had people telling me I was going to be a failure. I told them that once I get out of school, I'm going to prove them wrong. And for like 13 years, I'll agree that I wasn't going down the right path. And I started connecting with people that had what I wanted: time, location, freedom. And they had these things that I wanted. And the biggest thing is like, I'm not real big on, I don't care about having the big house. I don't care about having the millions of dollars. I don't need the fancy car. My biggest thing is that as I get older, which I'm 41 years old, I'm realizing that time is our most precious commodity. And I know that in order for me to free up more time, I'm going to have to take, when I say take risks, I mean take calculated risk to get to where I want. So, when it comes to limiting beliefs, you have to, and it's hard because like when you have limiting beliefs, a lot of times it comes from friends primarily, but a lot of times it can come with family. And I'm a real big believer that if your friends are tearing you down, telling you those limiting beliefs, telling you can't do this, you can't do that, well, you got to cut them off. I'm sorry. You may be friends with this person for years and years and years, but you either, number one, you're going to have to cut them off, or number two, you're going to have that serious conversation and let them know that, look, this is where I'm at currently. This is where I want to go. You're holding me back. So you're either going to have to go or you're going to have to start being more supportive. And when it comes to family, obviously you can't cut family off. That's family, that's your blood. But you got to have that conversation with them and have a harder, deeper conversation just because they're family. And so, so when it comes to limited beliefs, I really believe that who you hang around, who you associate with is who you ultimately become. And if you're around people that live and thrive on limited beliefs, well, guess what? You're going to have those limited beliefs. If you're around people that crush and eliminate those limiting beliefs and believe that they can go further and further, then you need to get around those people and you're going to overcome those limiting beliefs. So I recommend, and the thing is like a lot of times we don't realize that we have these limiting beliefs and they're holding us back. But I believe in measuring progress. Where are you at currently? Where do you want to go? What challenges do you face? And if one of those challenges is a family member or a friend that aren't allowing you to go forward, you got to make that ultimate decision because that is that hurdle that's holding you back from getting where you want to be. So that's just a little bit about my story, and I hope that it encouraged somebody out there.
Wow. So thank you so much for that. And I really appreciate that because you've mentioned some inspiring things there by talking about the beliefs that can limit us from becoming superior. Now, still on that aspect of limiting beliefs, what do you do when you find yourself? Because, sometimes we know that this is wrong. I'm saying these words and it's wrong. I'm doing this and it's wrong. I'm moving with this friend and it's wrong. We know that some of the things we do are wrong, but we still keep on doing them. So when you find yourself under that limiting beliefs, what do you do to break out to overcome that limiting beliefs?
That's basically, that decision is going to ultimately fall on you, me, anybody that's out there. It's all going to boil down to you. You are the only one that is in control of your life, nobody else. I like to tell people, you know what, you don't pay my bills, you don't pay my mortgage, my car payment, everything's on me. So your opinion doesn't really matter. And the thing is like, there's so many people have all these opinions and everything. And the thing is that like, you gotta, like I said, you gotta have that conversation, and you gotta understand that it all boils down to you. Everything falls on you. Everything is your fault. You can't be putting blames on anybody. And when it comes to overcoming limiting belief, you got, and you say you're stuck at a job that you absolutely hate, and you hate having to wake up to an alarm clock. You hate having to deal with your toxic coworkers that are constantly negative. There has to come a point in your life where you are absolutely tired of it. You're fed up with it, and you want no more of it so much that you're willing to change and overcome your limiting belief, get where you are. But I will tell you again, it all boils down to who you hang around and who you associate yourself with. You're never going to see a lion hanging around gazelles, these animals that won't do no harm to you, right? A lion is always going to hang around lions. Same thing with a lioness. They're always around, their pride. They're always trying to go. So surround yourself with those lions in your life that are going to get you where you want.
Wow, Kelvin, that's a powerful one. You said you can't see a lion trying to hang around with another.
Gazelles. Yeah.
That's powerful. Thank you so much. And that leads me to the next question, the power of connections. How can you leverage on connections to become superior in life?
Oh, yeah.
To
I
become
love
better?
talking on this subject. It goes back to, when I was in high school, like, we didn't have the power of the internet. We didn't have social media. We didn't have all these great things. All we had were the people in our school, the people in our city, our community, and that was it. And here in the States, we had a phone book. That was it. That was the only way we could call and connect with other people. And right now, there really isn't any reason why anybody can't become who they really want, because we have the power of the internet. We have the power of social media. We have the power of blogging. We have the power of podcasts, all these different things, all these avenues that we can take to connect with the people that have what we want. And, I like to refer to it as the power of connection. If it wasn't for Jesse Cruz, I would have never connected with you. If it wasn't for Daniel Gomez, I would have never connected with Jesse Cruz. If it was never for, I can just keep going on and on. But it's crazy how this just happened a few months ago. I was connected with a guy in Delaware, which is in the northern part of the United States. And I got connected with a guy that was literally an hour and a half away from me. So we all have these connections around us that we may not be aware of. We just have to get out there and connect with the people. And it's just like, if I'm a published author, I have a book. Let's say, for example, someone out there that's listening to this, they want to write a book, but they have no idea how to write a book. Well, we live in a world right now where you can just go onto the internet, Facebook or whatever, type in the search engine how to become an author, and you're going to come see all these groups, all these blogs, all these things to connect with these people that are already authors. And the biggest thing is you just need to connect with them, support them, and show them some love so they can show love back to you and start showing you the way to actually get there, because like, I would have never wrote my book if it would have never been for the event I went in Delaware. I would have never wrote my book if it wasn't for the help of my friend in Arizona. So we all have the ability to connect with everybody that we want to, and there's no limit to who we connect to, because you're all the way in Nigeria, I'm all the way in the United States. This what we have going right now would not have been possible in the 90s, early 2000s. So we are so blessed right now to be where we are. And if there's anybody that has a belief that they can get where they want, they need to, there's so many negative things about like Facebook, social media, but it's like I tell people, it's a tool. How do you use it? A lot of people love to gossip. They love to be nosy. I use it as a tool for connecting with people that have what I want. And I'm always trying to grow, because if you're not growing, you're dying. Always be growing, right?
Yeah, that was powerful. I heard everything. We heard what you're saying there, and that was really cool. We are just making a little changes, okay? But we are fine. Now, I want to ask this concerning the power of connection, because sometimes today you connect with people and they don't have your vision. How do you cope when you connect with people that don't have your vision or can't see, the superiority that is in you or the good part of you? Sometimes they will focus on your negative parts. They will focus on your weakness. They will focus on your errors. And before you know it, they don't want to be in that connection anymore. What happens in such a situation?
Okay, you were breaking up just a little bit, but you're asking, what do you do if you're dealing with somebody that's negative, doesn't want to see you grow, doesn't want to see you excel in life.
That's
So
right.
basically, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. You have to, number one, cut them off, and I'm real blunt, like cut them off, because you have to realize that we're not going to live forever. We are here. We all have an expiration date. We're all going to die, whether we like it or not. And you have to get out there and live your life to the max and figure out how you're going to get there. And if there's people that are constantly bringing you down, you got to have that conversation, cut them off. If it deals with family, you got to have that serious conversation and be clear with them that you're an adult. You can make your own decisions. You're not going to hold me back. I'm not in elementary school anymore, so I'm old enough to start making my own decisions, whether you like it or not. And it's going to all depend on the individual, because everybody has a different way on the way they think and the way they talk and everything. So, yeah, bottom line, you just got to have that conversation, or just immediately just cut them off and just realize that nobody's going to hold you back, because there's a lot of people out there and there's so much negativity when it comes to people that don't want to see you win. And a lot of times it's a reflection of who they are. If they're constantly being negative, if they're constantly telling you they're hoping that you're going to lose, they have something deeply rooted inside of them that is making them feel this way. I personally, my biggest supporters were strangers, complete strangers. All the people I've connected with in other states, other countries, they're my biggest supporters, believe it or not, when it comes to, even my family. And the thing is like, I don't have anything against the way, my family thinks and everything, but it's the way they were raised. That's all they know. But when you start getting yourself, like, I would never recommend, like, I did a post the other day. I would never recommend kids to talk to strangers, but obviously we were raised not to talk to strangers. Now that I'm an adult, I talk to strangers all the time, and they're my biggest supporters, So, get out there and meet new people, as long as you're not a kid over 18, obviously. So, yeah.
Wow, come on. I love that, Kelvin. I
Yeah.
love that. In fact, in some places, they will write, in some schools, they will say, don't talk to strangers. But here
Yeah.
you are saying, get out there and even meet with strangers. And things can happen. And sometimes I've been to countries where, and I'm on a street where I don't even know the person. And somehow we got connected. And before you know it, something positive, something good comes out of it. So every time that you restrict yourself from connecting with people, you are hindering yourself from becoming superior. The more you connect with people, the more you become superior. So that connection, it's very important. That place of connecting with others cannot be overemphasized. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for that.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go to the next question, the value of community. I want you to tell us something about community, especially to those of us that are youths. What's the value of community?
Well, I love talking about this subject, because if it wasn't for the communities I'm around, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I don't
Mm.
know, like, I'm going to use an example. Okay. Y'all, like, y'all obviously have cell phones. Do y'all deal with Apple or Samsung or anything like that?
Yeah, yes, of course.
So, yeah. So I have an Apple. Where's it at? Yeah, I have an Apple iPhone.
Okay.
You have an Apple iPhone?
No, but there are a lot of Apple iPhones here,
Okay.
over here.
Hey, there's nothing wrong
Samsung.
with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, there's people that are diehard Apple fans. There's diehard Samsung, Google, whatever. They all have these. Everybody are diehard fans of like Apple, right? What do you think? What do you think got Apple where they are today? Can you answer that?
Mm.
Community. They have a
Wow.
community surrounded around them that keeps people coming back. I don't know if
Mm.
it's like where you're at. I don't know if it's like it is over here. But when they launch a new Apple iPhone, people are sleeping inside tents outside of the store because they want to be the first to get it. It's just like, Michael Jordan, when his shoes came out, like people were like pre-ordering, they would sleep outside of the store because they want to be the first to get the shoe. What makes them
Wow.
do that? Why are those businesses thriving? Because they have a community that keeps coming back over and over and over. They provide some sort of value that brings them back over and over and over. Whenever a new company launches, it takes a while to gain traction. They got to start building their community. It's just like me. Like I have my private mastermind where we gather once a month and figure out where they are, where they want to go, what challenges do they face, how can we support you and hold you accountable to get where you want by the end of the month. That's my community that's growing. It's growing. It's not as big as I would like it, but I realize that I'm at the bottom of the mountain, and in order for me to get to the top, I just had to practice patience and keep providing value. And so, yeah, so the power of community is big. Um, and so, like going back a little bit, before I even got involved with communities, was that I actually went to an event in 2019, and I connected. It was an experience I've never seen before because at events, you had to pay a set amount of money. If you want to meet the actual speakers and everybody there, you had to pay this crazy amount of money. Well, this event was a little bit different. All I paid was a small amount. It was like $75, and I was able to meet all the speakers, even have dinner with the speakers. So that was a lot of value. That was way more value than what I expected because they over delivered. And before you know it, I became part of that community. That community has contributed to so much of my growth, and I'm still continuing to grow and grow and grow. So I encourage anybody that's watching to get out there. And the thing is like not everybody's going to resonate with me. Not everybody's going to resonate with my answers in a lot of things. But I encourage people to get out there to find someone who they can resonate with and get to their events, buy their book, subscribe to their podcast, whatever it is, and start getting involved within their community because it resonates with them. And like I said the other day on a Facebook post, I'm not for everybody, but if I could just reach that one person, that makes me happy. So yeah, so the power of community is big. Just know that if you're going to start building your own community, you got to start providing so much value that people keep coming back over and over. It's just like the Apple, the Samsung, the Air Jordans, all these things. They have a community that's going to keep coming over and over and over. So yeah, I'm real big on community. I recommend it highly because again, we can only get so far on our own.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. That is truly inspiring.
Yeah.
I want to say, Kevin, that one of the challenges of community is, in some places, people feel that they are okay, they are satisfied with themselves, and so they don't want to connect with others, they don't want to relate with others. They feel that they have all it takes. So what say to such people?
Well, the thing is like going back to what I said earlier, with my growing up, I thought that money was going to make me happy and everything. I never was satisfied. But the thing is like there was a saying one time, um, I'd rather be happy in a Toyota than miserable in a Ferrari. And that really touched me in a special way because like having all this money doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy. There's millionaires, billionaires out there that have the most miserable lives. But yet there's people out there that make just enough to get by. They scrounge money together to take their family on a vacation. They're happy with having a movie night. They're the happiest people. You had to figure out what makes you happy. You got to figure out what it is that you want. And just know that there's so many people that want that Ferrari, they want that mansion, but they don't realize what goes behind to achieving all that. You're going to be working, you're going to be grinding all around the clock. and you got to be available like 24/7. And you got to ask yourself, does that make you happy? If it does, then keep going and going. Because, and then you got to ask yourself, if I'm happy with where I'm at right now and I'm fine, that's perfectly fine. Not everybody is meant to, become an entrepreneur, business owner, have millions of dollars. You have to go wherever you're happy at. And it's like I tell people, like, I don't know what an alarm clock is. My drive, my passion wakes me up. If you are constantly having to push that snooze button over and over, you dread getting up, you dread going to that job, you don't enjoy what you're doing. Because as long as you're doing what you enjoy and you're happy at it, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's so true, because you're never going to be looking at the clock, So yeah, just, you have to figure out, like, does this make me happy? Am I really truly happy doing what I'm doing? And if you are, great, keep going. But if you feel that there's more out there and you can keep going and going, just know that you're going to have to put a little bit of more work in there. And a lot of times it's going to require a lot of work, but just know that, going back to the power of connection, the power of community, when you have all those connections and that community behind your back, you're going to go so much further, so much quicker. So I'm real big on that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kevin, for giving us so much value, so much inspiration today. I want to say that we are truly grateful because we are learning so much from what you are talking about. Now, I want to ask a question. How can somebody go beyond their struggles? Because as youths, there are so much struggles, weaknesses, challenges that many of us are facing. And sometimes you look around, you have been facing a particular struggle for years, for a long time, and it's as if things are not changing. What do you have to say to those who find it difficult to go beyond the power and the influence of a particular?
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're breaking up a little bit. That's fine. So you want to know what happens if they just keep going and going and nothing is changing? Is that what it was, pretty much?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, great. So yeah. So if you
Yeah.
I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and they were talking about it was a thing that what was it? It was, they were talking about he was actually speaking to a company, and he wanted, and basically, like, people weren't growing anymore, they just stopped. And then you had people that kept growing and growing. And so basically, like, a lot of people, they graduate high school, they go to college, but then after they go to college, that's it, they just stop. And the thing is like, you constantly have to be growing and growing and evolving to become what it is you want. You can't play, like, you see these big acorn trees, they're massive, right? It took them 20 plus years to get there. What do you think would happen if it stopped raining, people stopped watering it? It would never grow. And just know that, and this is the big key takeaway, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. You're going to stay where you are. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. So if you keep, beating your head against the wall, you're never going to get anywhere. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable, and you have to be willing to start meeting new people that have what you want. It's just like, I'm surrounding myself with speakers, authors, people with podcasts, people that have masterminds, people that put on events. My ultimate goal is to put on events outside of Texas. But I know that I just can't do that starting tomorrow. I know it's a process. I had to practice patience. So yeah, so if nothing changes, then nothing changes. Get out there and connect with people. Get out there and meet strangers, because that's where your ultimate growth is going to happen. If you start hanging around if you start hanging around 5 millionaires, you're typically going to be the 6th millionaire. If you hang around 5 homeless people, you're typically probably going to become the next homeless person. So get around people that have what you want and start growing and growing, and don't be scared to meet new people, because they may be the answer to what you need that's going to take you to that next level.
Thank you so much, Kelvin. Now, I want to ask something about self-denial. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned something about self-denial. And when you study these great guys that are doing great things like Mark Zuckerberg and all those guys, you will notice that there's something about self-denial. It's one of the secrets of their success. You know, positive use of self-denial will lead to superiority. So I want you to tell us about this self-denial and how you have also made some self-denial in your personal life, and how that self-denial has improved your business, your superiority in life.
Yeah, well, I never imagined, having a podcast, being a published author, speaking or anything. I didn't think I was worthy of it. And the thing is a lot of it was limiting beliefs. People were like, "What would you speak on? What would you write about?" And that got me down. And that got me to, denying these things that I felt I could become. And I was like accepting it. And then I started realizing I started getting around people that they're strangers. All these strangers I started connecting with, they started telling me different. They started saying, "Why can't you speak? Why can't you write that book? Why can't you start that podcast? You have a powerful story." We all have stories within us. If we don't get it out there, we are being a disservice to people. So once I was able to separate myself from these people that were telling me, "Hey, you can't do this, you can't do that," and I was surrounding myself with these people that were encouraging me to do it, I was able to do it. So it all boils down to, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you keep hanging around the people you've been hanging around for all these years and you haven't gotten any further and you haven't grown, you need to start exploring more options and getting around people that have already been there and that are encouraging you to keep growing and growing and growing. Because at the end of the day, we're never promised tomorrow. I don't want to be in my deathbed regretting, "Oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have never listened to that person. I wish I would have wrote that book. I wish I would have gone on that stage. I wish I would have done this and this and this." So yeah, that's a big one for me. Yeah.
Kelvin, you just said something that touched me. You just said something that is so powerful. I wish I never listened to that person. So,
Yeah.
guys, who is it that you are listening to that is limiting your progress? Who is it that you are listening to that is limiting your superiority in life?
Mm-hmm.
You need to wake up today and say, enough is enough. I'm not going to listen anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to take that advice anymore. You
Yeah.
know, in fact, I'm going to write a book on just that word alone, just that sentence alone. Who is that wrong person that you've been listening to? And I will tell you, well, let me not go there, but it's a very powerful word, Kelvin. It's a very powerful word, and I appreciate it. Many of us are listening to the wrong people, so much wrong things, even on the world scene, even on the in the global scene, in the politics of our nations. There are so many wrong people that we are listening to. And it's time for us to tell ourselves, enough is enough. We don't need to listen to these wrong people. People that are not, educated, people that have no vision, people that have no dream, people that are old, and they have nothing to offer, and they are coming to run for one position or the other, and we are listening to them, and we are believing them. Who are you listening to? That you need to tell yourself, I'm not going to listen to them anymore. Calvin, that reminds me the story of a lady who had a dream to go to school. She wanted to go to university. She was in high school and she met this guy, and the guy said, "Don't worry, I'm going to help you to get to university. I'm going to sponsor you. But first of all, get into a relationship with me." And they began the relationship, and the lady got pregnant. And after she got pregnant, the guy said, "Don't worry, just deliver this baby. I'm going to help you to go to university." And she delivered the baby. And after she delivered the baby, they continued in the relationship, and the guy didn't do anything about the school or the education. And before she knew it, she got pregnant again for the second time. And the guy said, "Don't worry, just have this baby for me. You are going to go to school." And she got the baby. And after she got that baby, third time. And the guy said, "Don't worry, I'm going to make sure you get to university." And that was how they continued till she got the sixth child, number six child. I actually met that
Oh
lady,
wow.
and she told me she has six children now. And now the guy is
Oh
not
wow.
talking about her going to the school anymore. So who are you listening to? That it's telling you not to believe in yourself, not to see the superiority that is inside of you. Who are you listening to? Today I
Exactly.
said to myself, I'm not listening to Facebook. Yesterday, Facebook, oh fine. And today I said, well, if Facebook is going to stop me, then I'm going to tell Facebook me. And I put Facebook on the corner and I went on YouTube. And today we are using YouTube, and this show is going on to the shame of the devil. Come on.
Yeah.
So I want to challenge
Exactly.
somebody out there. Who are you listening to? You need to tell them, I'm not listening to you anymore. It's time to listen to my dreams. It's time to listen to my vision. It's time to listen to my idea. Look at Joseph. That's what happened to Joseph. When everybody was saying whatever they wanted to say, Joseph said, no, I had this dream. Even when his brothers were telling him, keep quiet, but he kept talking about his dream. We are here to tell you today, youths of Africa, youths of Ibadan, youths of Nigeria, youths of Zambia, wherever you are watching from, we are here to tell you that it's time for you to listen to your ideas, listen to your dream, listen to your heart. Stop listening to external voices that are destroying you and telling you there's nothing in your future. There is something in your future, something great, something powerful, something amazing. Look at Kelvin. This guy said he failed in school. He couldn't even complete his education. But today he's an author. Today he has achieved a lot of things. In fact, it got to a point I had to plead with him to be on this show because he had other appointments. And even though it's night over here where I am, but it's still morning or afternoon where he is. So he had a lot of appointments. He had a lot of things. I had to plead with him, please, you need to speak to my people. And here he is today. Somebody who didn't even complete his education, but he is an inspiration to people all over the world. Who told you that you can't make it? Right where you are, in that village, right where you are, in Ibadan. I came to Ibadan to tell the youths of Ibadan, to tell the youths of Federal College of Forestry that you can make it. You have something on the inside of you. Don't allow your situation stop you. Don't allow even your own weakness, your own challenges. Don't allow those things to stop you. Look ahead. Look ahead. There's a light in your future. There's a light in your destiny. Don't depend on the government. Forget about the government and push ahead with your life. Push ahead with your dreams. Push ahead with your passion. Push ahead with your desires. Those positive desires, they can become a reality. They can come to pass. Kevin, I want you to say a word to youths that are watching you right now. Even right here in this darkness, there are youths watching you, listening to you. Guess what happened? The electricity went off. And we tried to put on the generator. It couldn't work. But they are here listening to you right now.
Thank
And
you.
even outside here, they're listening to you. What do you have to say to them? And there are people watching from other countries, from Zambia, from other places. Say a word to Africa youths.
I'm so glad I'm here. I'm blessed to be here. I know that we had a little bit of confusion on the time and everything with, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it because I had other commitments and everything. But the moment that you said there's kids out there from other countries that are going to be watching, that's what made me work around with my commitments, because I'm a true believer in we all have a story within us. And if you're holding it in and you're not getting it out there, your story could be the life jacket that could save someone's life. So I wanted to get my story out there. I truly hope that it touched at least one person, and I really hope that they can use it to their advantage and keep, going ahead in life and moving forward, and stop, don't, just because you get out of college doesn't mean you stop. Keep growing, keep seeking growth, keep seeking new challenges, and keep growing. Learn to start getting comfortable with getting uncomfortable, knowing that that's going to be your ultimate goal. And I wanted to give y'all like an exercise that y'all can do. Once this is all over, is we all know what a boat anchor is, right? What does a boat anchor do with the boat, right? It holds it still, right? But what does a propeller do on a boat? It moves it forward. So you need to figure out the people in your life. Are they the anchor that's holding you down, or are they the propeller that's moving you forward. And what I like to do is like I like to list out. It's called the friendship detox. You make a list of all your friends, and basically, yeah, you make a list of all your friends, and you ask yourself, you look at each person individually. Is this person moving me closer to where I want to be, or further away from where I want to be? From where I want to be. So again, list out the person's name. Are they getting me closer to where I want to be or further away from where I want to be? And those are the ones where you're going to either have to, number one, have the talk with them and tell them where you're headed, or number two, you're going to have to cut them off. So as I encourage you to do that and start getting around the people that have what you want, then they're going to push you to grow. And at the end of the day, you become the 5 people you hanging around and associate yourself with the most. So take a deep dive and figure out who that is and start making those adjustments.
Thank you so much, Kelvin. I want to ask you. You know, you look so young, and you look vibrant, and even I love your speech, because your speech is clear. Sometimes I've had speakers on the show, and their speech is not very clear, but your speech is very clear. You can speak anywhere in Africa, and they will be able to listen to you.
Oh, wow. I'd be honored to do that. I
Yeah.
should
So
never
I want to
speak.
ask you a question, Kevin.
5 years?
Okay. So where do you see yourself
That's funny
in
you
another
say
5 years
that.
or 10 years?
Well, you actually kickstarted where I want to be in 5 years. I want to be speaking all around the world, and this is my first
Wow.
time speaking to another country. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I want to. My
You
biggest
made
goal in
history
5 years
today.
is to speak around the world, inspire and impact people that need to hear my message and my story to get them further where they want. I want to start creating events worldwide in 5 years because I want to get to the people. The thing is that everything used to be about me, 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 me. But I didn't start succeeding until I started helping other people. So nothing. It's not about me
That's
anymore. It's
it.
about them. When I go do things, it's because of them. It's not because of me. I may not like what I'm having to do, but I know it's for them. And that's why I love to serve and support. I encourage anyone watching to learn to start serving and supporting other people because eventually, you're going to be blessed from doing all that. And so,
Amen.
it's funny because I take these walks in the morning, in the afternoons, and over the last 2 years, I've found 4 $1 bills. And I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, "Man, I found another dollar bill," and he was like, "Well, what are you gonna do with that dollar bill?" I was like, "Well, I was gonna keep it." And he was like, "No, you go give it, because when you start giving, you start receiving it back." So that's what I'm doing. So yeah. So when you're
When you
blessed,
start giving, you start receiving. That is so
yeah,
powerful, Kevin.
yeah,
And that's why I'm into charity. We do a lot of giving to the less privileged, to those that are suffering. We do a lot of giving in Africa. So I love that spirit. I love that spirit. And once you have that spirit, once you have that mindset, even the sky can't be your limit, because you will go far, 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 far. Yeah.
I love that, man. Yeah, I'm always here, and I'm so glad that me and you are connected now, and I just love the idea of, like you're all the way over there, I'm all the way over here, and we're having a conversation. We're blessed, and I'm glad that I could have, blessed at least one person today. I hope I inspired people, and just know that if they're on Facebook, hey, connect with me. I'd love to connect with them, and I'm always want to be there to support. If there's anything I can do, I'd love to support.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, I want to ask, does anybody have question? Hmm? Does anybody have question? Huh? No question. Okay. Okay, I was trying to ask them if any of them have a question, but they said no question. So we want to wrap up the show for today. Those of you that are watching right now from around the world, and those that will watch the replay, please leave a comment for us. Let us know how this show today has impacted your life and how it has blessed you. Kevin, thank you so much for speaking to us all the way from the United States of America. We appreciate your coming on the show today.
Glad to be here, sir.
Your Yeah. Any more word for us before you go?
just keep the needle moving forward, and just as you going through life, just know that you're going to get overwhelmed. And the biggest thing that I can tell you to do is, if you want to keep the needle moving forward and you keep growing, list out 5 things that you need to do to keep moving forward, and only do those 5 things. And just know that, just don't stay idle. Just keep growing and growing, and find those people that have what you want. If you want to be a doctor, connect with a doctor. Start learning as much as you can from people that have what you want, and eventually you'll get there. So yeah, and don't give up, because even Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team, and he became probably one of the greatest of all times. So when you see a failure, just look at it as a learning curve. You're going to learn from it. Keep adapting and keep learning and learning. And I wish all of y'all the best, and I want y'all to be number one.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kelvin. We really appreciate you. God bless you so much. And what do you guys say to Kelvin?
Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a great experience. Love you all, guys.
Thank you so much. So we've come to the end of the show for today. Till we come your way again, stay motivated. The sky is not your limit, it's your starting point. God bless you. Have a great weekend.